It started, as most horror stories do, with a phone call. It was 6:04 a.m. on a frost-covered January morning in Essex County, New Jersey. The sun hadn't broken the skyline yet. Streetlights cast soft orange pools onto icy sidewalks. Inside a nondescript warehouse off Route 280, the members of Unit 17 Crime Scene Restoration were nursing black coffee and thumbing through paperwork. That's when the call came in. Triple homicide. Residential. Minor involved, the dispatcher said flatly. Eli Torres set his coffee down. No matter how long he'd done this, no matter how many bodies he'd seen decomposing in bathtubs or slumped across dining tables, those words, minor involved, cut deepest. Eli glanced at his partner, Maria Vasquez. She was younger, early 30s, ex-paramedic, newer to the cleanup world. Her eyes locked with his, and the nod they shared was silent but absolute. They were going. They pulled out in a van within 5 minutes. The address, 317 Brook Hollow Drive. Suburban. Quiet. Well kept. But as they turned onto the street, the illusion shattered. Flashing red and blue lights. Yellow tape fluttering in the bitter wind. A cop car blocking off the driveway. Eli parked 2 houses down. They sat in the van for a moment. Ready, he asked. No, Maria replied. Let's do it anyway. 317 Brook Hollow looked like any other house. Vinyl siding. Gabled roof. A swing set in the backyard. But evil had seeped into its walls overnight. They suited up. White Tyvek hazmat suits, thick gloves, boots, respirators. Eli carried the biohazard bin. Maria had the cleaning agents. They passed under the yellow tape into the mouth of the house. The smell hit instantly, metallic, heavy, mixed with bleach and decay. It was quiet inside, too quiet, even for a crime scene. Eli swept a glance around. Blood spatter painted the living room walls like a surrealist nightmare. Furniture overturned. A family photo on the ground, the glass cracked. Then footsteps upstairs. Both froze. Cops still here? Maria asked quietly. No, Eli said. They cleared. We're alone. The footsteps stopped. Silence. They moved forward anyway. Room by room, they began the process. Bedrooms soaked in stillness. The master suite, a massacre. Blood pooled on the mattress, thick and dark. Bullet holes in the headboard. In the hallway, a tiny sneaker. Child-sized. Untouched. They cleaned in silence. But the air buzzed with something else. An energy. Watching. Waiting. Eli had rules. Never listen to the walls. Never look too long at the photos. And never, ever, open doors you don't have to. But today he broke all 3. In the hallway, he stared at the family portrait again. Smiling father. Blonde mother. A little girl. Maybe 6. Missing her 2 front teeth. Her name, according to a drawing stuck to the fridge, was Emily. He looked at the closet door nearby. It was slightly ajar. Something about it. Eli. Maria's voice crackled through the mask. Living room's ready for mop down. I'll be there, he said, but he didn't move. Instead, he opened the closet door. It was empty, except for the faint outline of handprints on the inside wall. Small, desperate, bloody. He shut the door and said nothing. They finished the bedroom, then the hallway. They had moved to the basement when the power flickered. The hanging bulb above Eli swayed, casting warped shadows. Maria was upstairs, vacuum sealing waste bags. That's when Eli saw him. A man, tall, pale, face blank, standing behind the furnace. Eli froze. The figure blinked out. A trick of the eye? Maybe. But what Eli couldn't shake was the feeling he'd seen him before. Back in '09, another cleanup. Similar blood patterns. Same silence. Same eyes in the dark. The man who couldn't bleed. That's what they called him then. Of course, police said it was a ghost story. But cleanup crews knew better. Some stains, Eli said, don't stay on the floor. They follow you. At 4:46 p.m., Maria refused to go back upstairs. She sat on the porch, suit half unzipped, tears streaking down her cheeks. I heard her, she whispered. A little girl. She said, don't let him out. I heard it, Eli. She was right next to me. Eli didn't argue. He just sat beside her. Crime scene cleaning wasn't just about disinfecting. It was spiritual. Psychological. You scrub the floor, and it scrubs you back. Some rooms bite. Maria lit a cigarette with shaking hands. They killed her in a bathroom, she whispered. Did you see the crayon drawings on the tile? She must have tried to hide there. Eli nodded. They had seen it all. But this was personal. This house hated them. And they still weren't done. 2 weeks after the cleanup, a manila envelope arrived at the office. No return address. Inside, photos. Crime scene photos. And a note. You missed a spot. The writing was childlike. Red ink. Unsettling. Maria called Eli, voice trembling. This is a threat, right? Eli wasn't sure. He drove to the precinct and met with Detective Ron Kessler, the lead on the Brook Hollow case. Kessler looked exhausted, pale, like he hadn't slept in days. I don't know who sent that, he said, but the case, it's going cold. The father, David Reardon, gone. Vanished. No prints. No footage. It's like he disappeared. Eli slid the envelope across the table. Then who took these? Kessler said nothing. Then he added, Emily's body was never found. The return to Brook Hollow. 3 months passed. Maria quit the job. Eli tried to move on. Then, at 3:17 a.m., his phone rang. Static. A child's voice. Come back. That morning, he returned to 317 Brook Hollow. It was sealed. Foreclosed. The swing set rusted. The blinds inside fluttered with no wind. He forced the door open. Inside, dark, silent, dusty, and on the living room wall, written in blood-red paint. Still here. Eli turned to leave, but the door slammed shut. Locked. Then footsteps. Upstairs. And the closet door creaked open all by itself. The hidden room. It took 7 hours for Eli to escape. Police found him curled in the basement, holding a child's drawing. It depicted 3 stick figures, Mom, Dad, and a child. But the father had red excess for eyes. The words, bad man, were scrawled in the corner. Behind a furnace, detectives found a false wall. Inside, a crawlspace. Blankets. Candy wrappers. A stuffed animal. And Emily's remains. Hidden. Preserved. Forgotten. The house had hidden her. It had hidden the truth. The father hadn't vanished. He'd buried her and escaped. And the house. It remembered. 6 months later, David Reardon was captured in Nebraska under a false name. He confessed to everything. Rage. Jealousy. A marriage in ruins. He snapped. But when asked why he hid the body and staged the scene, he said something strange. She wouldn't let me leave. Emily, even dead, she kept whispering. Reporters laughed, called him insane. But Eli didn't laugh. He'd heard the whispers, too. So had Maria. So had Kessler. The house had spoken, and it had spoken justice. Eli retired after that. Maria moved to Arizona. Never spoke of 317 Brook Hollow again. But sometimes Eli would wake in the night, swearing he smelled bleach, or hear soft tapping from inside his closet. He kept the respirator on a hook in his garage, just in case, because some stains don't fade. They wait. And the untold story of America's most gruesome crime scene cleaners? It's still being written. Every time a van pulls up to a house where silence has teeth. And someone has to clean up what should never have been done.